Hi everyone. Hi everyone. This is Ian, certified nutrition coach specializing in health behavior change. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic, using nutrition to support perimenopause and menopause. Are you someone who has tried every diet but still feels stuck? Or maybe you're worried that mood swings and brain fog will eventually impact your life at work and at home? Imagine if you can have very good control over your body, knowing what to do under what circumstances. How would that feel? When I was 40, I lost my mother unexpectedly. That stress was so big that I turned into stress eating. I would eat fried chicken and pizza, often a lot of them, double portions in one meal. Over time, I had serious brain fog and I felt depressed. I felt fluffier and swollen. Then one day, a friend commented on my look. She said, "Nice jacket. Is that your new style?" She meant well, but I felt exposed and embarrassed because that was a bigger jacket that I had bought to cover my bigger body. And if you knew my mom and me, you would know that we always talked about aging gracefully together. So that moment woke me up. And that determination drove me to discover a gut friendly metabolic reset method started in Taiwan. It was a planned forward method. With that, I lost 12% body fat, 17 pounds, and got really good lab results. The best part? I have kept my weight off since then. So, what's missing? Conventional weight management, or maybe just midlife belly management, emphasize a lot about eating less and exercising more. But we all know that not everybody loves to exercise, and it's more complicated than that. With hormonal fluctuations and mood swings, we felt like there's just so many separate solutions for so many different problems, and we feel tired chasing this, chasing doing that, and exhausted. But maybe what we really need is just a paradigm shift, a mindset shift, a behavioral change. But we all know that change is hard. When I worked at the primary care clinic, no matter who I talked to, people genuinely needed a guide outside of the four walls of the clinic. They needed a system, a guide, and an environment to make that leap forward. And so I decided to use my background in behavioral science to help more people get healthier. And that's how I designed the CARE program. It has three milestones and a lot of measurable outcomes that we can achieve. But maybe earlier you heard me saying that it's a plant forward diet. And you may think, well, no meat, not gonna do it. Or it's just another diet. Well, I got good news and bad news for you. The good news is there will be meat. You just need to explore what's good for you. The bad news? We're living in an increasingly complex world, and knowing how to eat well has become an essential executive function that you cannot get away with. Especially if you are juggling different tasks and have demanding roles. You have to know that only when you do well can you have a positive ripple effect around people around you, for people around you, and at your work and at your life. So knowing how to show up and learn that skill well is our responsibility. So today, we will learn, you will learn how to recharge metabolism without living at the gym or giving up important dinners or functions. You will also learn why doing everything right still leaves you tired, hungry, and even on the provider's watch list. You'll learn the reason behind stubborn belly fat and what you can do about it to unlock progress again. You learn simple strategies to improve metabolic resilience and healthy aging. I'll share as much as I can in the limited time that we have together, and I'll show you how to take this further. So, the first thing maybe a lot of people didn't know about is this. Estrogen helps keep our gut microbiome balanced. So when estrogen drops in midlife, our gut diversity goes down. Think of your gut microbiome like a neighborhood. Different gut bacteria live there, sending signals to your brain about what you want to eat, what you crave. Ideally, you want more fiber loving gut bacteria to move in. You don't want too many of those sugar loving, fat, and salt loving neighbors to move in. Now, the gut shift matters because estrogen also determines how and where we store body fat. And during menopause, during midlife, our fat shifts toward belly. And that's when a lot of people start to notice that stubborn belly fat. And the common behavior problem that I have seen is that every time when people notice that belly fat showing up, they try to cut their calorie intake. So they eat less and exercise more. But when we constantly restrict ourselves, what we want to do eventually, we want a relief. And you know who does relief really well? Processed foods. They're high in fat, sugar, and salt, giving you instant happiness. And they're designed to be addictive. So you see, there's a vicious circle here. You constantly restrict yourself and you want a relief, and you bring that instant, quick relief that messes with your own GLP-1 production and messes with your own gut brain signaling. GLP-1 is a hormone that tells your body that you're full, that you don't have to eat any further. But if it's messed around, it's hard to tell that signals, right? So, what's the solution? You can take leadership around gut brain signaling. When you feed more gut, when you feed your fiber loving bacteria well, they will crowd out the bad ones, the gut, and then that shift doesn't just happen in your gut, it also happens in your mouth. So eventually, cravings start to shift, and healthier food start to taste better without forcing it. And then when that's well regulated, hot flashes like other symptoms are well managed without you forcing or power through with just willpower. So start tomorrow. You'll eat a rainbow of vegetables, especially water-soluble fibers like oats and beans. Cruciferous vegetables like kale, broccoli, cabbage are also good for midlife women. Since 95% of Americans are not eating enough fibers as we should, we definitely have a lot of room for improvement. The method that helped me lose 12% body fat not only helped me myself, it also helped a lot of busy professionals, especially physicians themselves in Taiwan. It helped them reset metabolic problems and other, not just midlife weight gain, but also diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. And it's not just for women. Men benefit from it too. A man used this method and cut 20 pounds of body fat in 6 weeks, and his biological age dropped from 50 to 32 years old. Now, the second problem that we face during midlife is the older we get, the more it's just natural that our muscle mass starts to decline. And the declining estrogen further increases the risk of muscle loss. And why is muscle important? You might ask. Well, it's more than just giving you strength. It also helps you carry out everyday functions, like lifting that suitcase or carrying a bag of groceries. More importantly, muscle is our main engine for burning energy. To rebuild muscle, you need protein because they offer the building blocks for muscle growth. But the problem, behavioral problem that I see a lot of people are not paying attention to is the quality and quantity of protein that they're taking in. Start with quality. Additives in protein foods like artificial sweeteners interferes with our gut-brain signaling and leaving you feeling unsatisfied. That's why a lot of people tell me, "Oh my god, I finished my cookies and cream protein shake. I feel so hungry still that I went for a real milkshake." Or another problem, saturated fat. You know that an 8-ounce ribeye steak can bring you close to your daily saturated fat limit if you're eating 2,000 calories a day. And that's before you count the butter or desserts or any side dishes. And another problem is quantity. You see, 36 grams of chicken breast doesn't mean 36 grams of protein because of a lot of the weight is water. And if you're dieting or using GLP-1 medications, you need more protein because otherwise, up to 40% of the weight you lose will come from muscle mass. Is, is any one of you considering using or already using GLP-1 medication? Type 1 in the chat room to let me know. The second solution that so the solution for the problem is you need to have a plan, a framework to give you sufficient and high quality protein. And think of your protein like Lego bricks. They help you build, fix, and maintain the body itself, especially in midlife when hormones ch- are changing. And it's not just about muscle. Protein is also critical for hair, nails, immunity system, and blood sugar stability. And breaking news, soy foods have officially made it to the protein group. They're no longer in the vegetable group because soy foods are low in saturated fat, which means it's good for heart health. And it's rich in isoflavones, something that helps with easing menopause symptoms like hot flashes or low mood. It is also high in protein density, higher than other plant proteins like lentils or chickpeas. So it gives you more bang for your buck. So start here tomorrow. You can drink 2 cups of unsweetened soy milk. That gives you protein equivalent of 2 eggs, and that helps you have steadier energy without that afternoon crash. Well, of course, you need more than 2 eggs of protein equivalent a day. So, for those who want to hit their protein target and still reset your metabolism, I like to start with a stage that I call clarity, where we use your body composition to create a personalized plan and build a foundation for healthy, graceful aging. So some of you might be thinking in the back of your head, thinking, well, what about phytoestrogen in soy? Well, phyto means plant, and phytoestrogen is just a plant compound. It has a chemical structure similar to human estrogen, but it's not the same hormone. It binds weakly to hormone receptors and it modulates, and that's how it's able to ease our midlife symptoms like hot flashes. And maybe some of you might be thinking, isn't soy or tofu Asian food? Well, guess what? Americans have been eating soy for over 200 years, especially tofu, eating tofu for over 200 years. Tofu is very versatile. It can fit beautifully into cuisines around the world, from Mexican to Italian. And since the Mediterranean diet already emphasizes a lot on plant based foods, adding the Asian staple like soy fits beautifully. I like to think of it as a Mediterranean diet as a framework to help you create satisfying flavors. The third problem that we bump into is l- declining estrogen means increasing cortisol sensitivity, which means we're more sensitive to stress. Feeling overwhelmed or worn out is just a normal response to the changing hormones that we're going through. But we were never taught this. Instead, we thought when things stop working, we need to push harder, thinking the more we put in, the more results we will get. But maybe the opposite is true. Because if we treat stress as only a mindset problem, not a physiological one as well, we bump into a bigger issue. Training and dieting become stressors. And you know what the body does when it feels stressed? It enters a protection mode. It holds on to more fat, and that only creates more inflammation. And that's why people would tell me, like, I went on a business trip, it was high stress, and I was so diligent. I skipped meals and I hit the gym every day on the road. And I came home discovering that there I had 1 more pound. I added 1 more pound on my scale. Well, stress is doing all the job. It's the culprit. So understanding this helps us cut ourselves some slack. We need a system. We need an environment, not more willpower or discipline. So put yourself on the right track and trust the system. So next time at a party, start with fiber and lean protein. And I like to tell people for successful behavioral change, rehearsal is important because that's based in scientific paper. If you want any behavioral change, rehearsal is critical, and that's what we do a lot in the care program. So today you have learned how to reset metabolism without living at the gym or giving up on important dinners. You have learned why doing everything right still fails you, making you feeling tired, hungry on your provider's watch list, and how by cutting additives and paying attention to your protein can help you reset the whole mess. You have also learned the reason behind stubborn belly fat. You learn how to unlock progress and recalibrate gut brain signaling. You learn simple strategies around mindset and foods to help you build a healthy foundation for aging. You know how frustrating it is when you're doing everything right but nothing seems to work? Because a lot of times conventional approach likes to look at things in buckets. Weight gain, eat less and exercise more. Hormonal fluctuations, try hormone replacement therapy or take something. Mood swings, take something or just power through. But all of these are all connected, and the key is your gut health. If we feed the good gut bacteria, eat sufficient high quality protein, and understand our stress, our body will start to work with us again. Cravings will calm down, our bodies get stronger, and our mood and energy become more dependable. In the process, we build a solid foundation for graceful, healthy aging. So, the next step is to help you establish a clear picture about the path forward. I can support you with a structured, personalized plan. So that you don't have to do all the research, build a plan, and figure out how to keep motivating yourself all alone. That's why I'm offering a 45-minute optimize your metabolism and gut health session to understand your health concerns, specific health concerns, your situations, and map a path forward. People who reset their metabolism about weight gain or blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol issue, all start from that clarity, that assessment. And because you're taking the time today, I want to take care of you. Normally, the initial session is $97, but if you sign up today, the fee is waived. You'll come in and we will have a talk. And because I only have 10 spots in my calendar this week, so the first 10 of you who sign up will have the opportunity to get on the call with me. Use a pen and paper here to pick a time that works for you. I have Monday and Tuesday available. If you don't see any spots that fit you, write down 2 available spots for you and your contact information so we can find out a solution. Thank you very much for being here. It's great to talk about such an important topic. Let the journey begin.